Hello and welcome back to the Five Back Podcast, episode 30. 30 episodes in on this adventure. Boys, how you feeling? I'm, of course, joined by T-Cat and Liam.
I'm pumped as always.
Pumped as always, ready. Glad to be back.
Glad to be back.
Glad to be back.
Another short staff here today. You know, only 3 of us, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's size doesn't matter, as they say. Right? That's what they say?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know.
Well, the NHL playoffs round 1 is almost at its conclusion. We have a couple game 7s, those being Florida, Boston, Seattle and Colorado, and then New Jersey and New York, correct?
Last 3. So Colorado and Boston, those 2 games are tonight.
Yep.
And then I think New Jersey's tomorrow.
Well, let's start it off with the biggest surprise, I think, maybe of all time. The Toronto Maple Leafs won a playoff series. Something that I don't think any of us thought were possible. Thoughts on the game?
Honestly, the last goal was shitty.
Their OT goal, I wouldn't be proud of that.
No.
Yeah, their OT goal, it wasn't the
prettiest.
It wasn't the best looking thing.
It wasn't the best looking goal, but this is good, right? Overall, this is a good thing.
No.
Because, my dad can stop being depressed, and so can everyone basically else in Ontario.
Look, I give the Leafs a hard time because they're the Leafs. They're easy to target.
The jokes were getting old anyways, though.
19 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
19 years old. And you know what? If I was in their position, I mean, as a Sharks fan, it's not as similar, but it's still kind of the whole idea of losing. But, you just got to give this dub to them once in a while. I think what makes it even kind of sweeter is the fact it was against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, a team they've struggled with a lot.
Yeah, and, Sheldon Keefe did a few line juggles, which I think really helped them out there.
Yeah.
Having that Matthew Nyes guy up top.
I mean, I don't think hasn't scored yet, but difference maker the whole series.
He's been a big impact.
He did fuck up on that one on Tampa's goal yesterday, but he's been a definitely like a re-energizer to that team.
Any guy who fills in a spot for Michael Bunting is a good guy.
Yeah, fuck, I hate Michael Bunting, but that's just you guys already know that if you listened to last week's pod. Thoughts on the series, T-Cat?
I just thought it was a good series. Most of the games were well played, especially last night.
I think Toronto definitely stole a couple, though.
Yeah. I don't think they deserve to win all those games, but
now people are saying, fire Cooper. No, I don't think.
No, that's stupid.
Who
is saying that?
I was scrolling through social media, and there were some people saying bye Cooper. It's no,
that's what.
That coach has been there for a decade and brought you 3 cups.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Fire John Cooper. He's probably one of the best coaches in the league.
In the league, and it was funny because he had the press conference last night. And he's like, "I'm usually used to going second. We aren't used to this feeling."
Yeah.
But I was watching the game with some buddies, and I said, you know what? What's going through all these players' minds, aside from a few being Corey Perry and some players who weren't part of that big cup run, they're probably fuck, I can go home and see my kids this summer.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I think it's just for the Leafs to get that monkey finally off their back. I think it can't be understated.
Sure.
Did you saw the celebrations on the bench?
They looked so happy.
You could just tell it was just relief. Even from the fans. I think that's what made it so special. Just the relief that oh my gosh, finally.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or we did it. We're going to the second round, which I think puts the pressure even more on the Leafs. There's the pressure to get out of the first round, which is already immense because Toronto's the biggest market in all of hockey.
Yeah.
But then to put that pressure on, okay, you done that, now here we go.
Yeah. And
tonight we find out who they could be playing, which I guess is a good segue into that series.
Man.
I said 3 pods ago when we did our predictions. 3 pods ago when we did our predictions, I said Florida getting swept in 4. I think we all had Boston 5. Everyone else had Boston 5. Matthew Tkachuk is just him. Him and Brendan Montour are just fucking outstanding this
Yeah.
series.
They're
Regardless who comes out on top tonight, I think it's going to be one of the best games we will see all playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this is going to be. Florida brought the Thunder the last game, and
The last game was fucking nuts.
yeah, the 6-5. Like,
Oh my
don't get me wrong,
gosh.
it was a teeter-totter, but I think I was telling you, Connor, or someone, I said the best thing Florida did the past 2 games, I guess it's been, was bringing in Sergei Bobrovsky. I think
Yeah.
that was a big surprise because everybody was kind of like he was kind of going in cold because he hasn't really been playing. Like, it was Spencer Knight all season, then that Mackenzie Lyon guy who, to his credit, like
He wasn't too bad at all.
He wasn't too bad. Like, you're going up against Boston, so you already have that pressure. But Bob has been stellar, I think, these past 2 games. And
Yeah.
like Matthew Tkachuk said, he said to his boys, Game 5, he said, take a good look around this room because we're going to be back here in Game 7.
Well, tonight is that game 7. Like, who do you see going through? Honestly, it's so hard to tell because like it's Boston is the obvious answer, but like there's just something about Florida. I think that you could tell they just want it
They
more.
want it more.
They want it more.
I don't think Boston loses tonight in their home barn.
Yeah, it is. It is in Boston, which
TD.
is huge.
Like, and those fans are rowdy, and I just think Boston, they have so much to play for. Like, they had
Yeah.
a wonderful season.
Well, this is the best team.
yeah.
But you know what? You know what Florida did so well in like their 6-3 win at TD was Florida's the type of team that doesn't let all the fan animosity get under their skin. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do that to a guy like Matthew Tkachuk. He feeds off that energy. Like, a lot of the guys on Florida feed off of that energy of the crowd just giving them boos. Like, I don't know. Regardless of who wins, I think it's going to be close. I could even see this going to like OT or something.
Yeah, I just want to like someone that's really surprised, who we mentioned earlier, like a couple pods ago when we talked about this series, is Taylor Hall. He's been on fire.
Yeah.
He's been
5 goals in this series so far.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely been a game changer. Someone that they weren't with for a while there. Obviously the injury. I was an injury at the end of the season, I think.
Yeah, he had a little injury.
Yeah, and then he's just been on fire this series.
Yeah.
So
Bertuzzi, though.
yeah, Bertuzzi as
MVP
well.
of that series so far, I think.
Yeah, he made a mistake, I think last game or maybe it was 2 games ago that
that bad.
that
He just
caused a
gives
loss.
that team so much energy. Like, he's what they need.
Dude, he's literally the embodiment of like the
Yeah,
Boston.
he's like Brad
Yeah.
Marchand, but like not ugly. You know what I
He's
mean?
like a smaller Lucic. Like, just goes after everyone.
Well,
Doesn't really
he's
care.
way better than Lucic.
Oh,
Yeah, no, but like, he's
Yeah,
smaller.
yeah,
And
no.
He's got that grit
He's got
to
the
him.
he's got the Lucic vibe to him.
Yeah.
But he's also
He also has skills.
So tonight game 7, boys, who do you have taking it?
Boston.
I never thought it'd be on like siding with Jacob here, but I gotta go Florida.
What time is the game at?
6:30 puck drop.
6:30.
You could just be getting out, like you might miss the first period.
Yeah, Ethan's gonna have to leave halfway through this pod because he's got work.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
sister has
Which is-
me
It's
working.
brutal. It's honestly brutal. But I think I'm gonna go.
Just go with the upset.
I just want to. For the Leafs' sake, I want to go Florida.
just
'Cause the Leafs, I don't think they'll beat Boston.
I don't think the Leafs are gonna be Boston or Florida. If I'm being honest with
Yeah,
you.
but it would be so much funnier if they lose to Boston.
I think
again.
it'd
a
be.
Boston Leaf series would be electric.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Boston's gonna take that in
But-
like 5 games.
Yeah, Boston will take that, but it would be electric. But for the sake of my own selfish reasons, I want Florida to go on.
So I just want to quickly this Boston Florida series. Who has been like the star
each
player
team?
for each team?
I think
I think for Florida, definitely Montour.
Tkachuk.
Montour for me. Because
Montour.
I expected Tkachuk to do this well. I didn't expect him to carry this hard, but Montour's come out of nowhere. He's been solid defensively.
Yeah.
And he has like 6 points.
He is their number 1 defenseman right
Yeah.
now. Ekblad is
But it's just like Tkachuk is carrying them
Yeah.
on his fucking back right now. Like,
for Boston. I think there's the obvious ones we could say, like you could put Hall up there, you could put Bertuzzi. I'm gonna go with Charlie McAvoy.
Yeah, he's solid.
he's
series.
been electric.
Charlie
Solid.
McAvoy has been solid on the point.
been
He's
laying the
producing
body.
chances.
Yeah, but he's just had it outstanding.
Yeah,
for
but
years.
watching him play, I get scared anytime Boston's on the power play and he's leading that. Like
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
scared watching
Yeah,
that.
I think I would agree. I think I'm gonna go with Taylor Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of the production. Like I didn't expect it to come on this fast, especially since he was out for a
Yeah.
while. But yeah.
McAvoy's a big hitter. Like, he doesn't look.
No, he
big.
doesn't look
But
it,
apparently
but
he
he-
played like linebacker and.
In high school, like
Yeah.
football, yeah.
T-Cat,
It's a big
Boston.
I'm between Hall and McAvoy.
Hall and McAvoy. For the Leafs Tampa series, I think for Leafs, the standout for me, I don't even Morgan Riley.
Morgan
I think
Riley.
for the Morgan
Yeah.
Riley is like
solid.
been top 2 defenseman in the playoffs, maybe top 3 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think you could either say Nylander or Riley.
Yeah, I'm going Riley.
I'm going Riley
I don't
as
think
Riley as well. Even Matty Nyes, I haven't seen a player make such big of a difference
with
and
no
not score a
points.
goal
Yeah, he's been
with
good.
him.
Yeah.
But Liam for Leafs.
Leafs, I think, like you said, I think it has to be Riley or like if we're looking from an offensive standpoint, I mean, still Riley.
Yeah.
But also I think Willie Styles is up there.
I mean, for Tampa Bay, it was more of just
They had all over the board.
yeah, it was all over the
Ross
board.
Colton, man.
Like yeah, he was a player that
They just played good.
yeah.
together.
Like I can't even think of a name. I think more the biggest story for
Yeah,
Tampa is the disappointment of Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
Vasi, man.
We'll move on to Carolina, New York Islanders. A series I haven't watched that much.
no.
Me neither.
One of our guests was pretty
Yeah. We-
upset with how that series
Yeah,
went.
I can't even give you my
Sebastian
thoughts
Aho
really
and
on
Sebastian
that,
Aho.
on that series.
It just shows you like how well put together Carolina is.
Yeah.
They
Don't have their best player.
They don't have their best player, and they're still pulling that out
Yeah.
of a very, very well-formed Islanders team towards
Yeah.
the end of that season.
Well, like systematically, they don't really have stars.
Yeah.
the Islanders. But now for the series that we said was going to be the most exciting. Coming off the series, we said it was going to be most boring. Series that we're going to say most exciting. I have no idea which way this one goes.
Seattle and
no.
No.
they're
New
in
Jersey,
Colorado.
New York. New
Okay.
Jersey, New York. Game 7.
That one's such a toss-up.
I said the Rangers are going to take the cup for the sake of the hockey pool. I want the Devils, but I have no idea which way this is going to go. I mean, I think what was it 3 back-to-back, 3 in a row for Devils in a row.
3 in a row. They got up 3-2, then they lost.
Yeah, and then they got pummeled
Madison
last
Square
night.
Garden.
Yeah, Schmid has come in and been a difference maker for in net for them. I honestly don't know which way this one swings. Jack Hughes has been outstanding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Adam Fox has been great for the Rangers. Tarasenko has even stepped up.
Kaner.
He's been looking good, Tarasenko.
Kaner's been doing Kaner things.
But I don't know about this one, boys. What do you think?
Like you said, it could go either way, honestly.
I
Devils.
want the Rangers for the podcast prediction. I want the Devils for the hockey pool.
Can't have both.
But I think the Rangers take it. I think they have too much class. T-Cap?
I might have to go Rangers. Their offense is just so stacked.
Anyone that stood out to you on either of these teams? I think it's just Hughes. For me, Hughes has led
Yeah.
that offense. Palat's even chipped in.
100%.
Luke Hughes.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up. He needs to play so I can get points. That might be the worst pick of pool of all time.
No, Dave, I noticed he's not on your sheet here. Can I pick
Brutal. But yeah, I think Jack Hughes for Devils, and then I think I'd say someone like even Chris Kreider for the Rangers.
He's been picking it up
You
again.
boys, any shouts?
They just been playing good
Yeah.
altogether. I can't pick one.
I think I had one of the most atrocious podcast predictions with this series when I said 5-1 for 4-1 for Devils at the beginning. I got to
You said Devils in 5.
I said Devils in 5. The
I
very
think I
first.
said Rangers in 5, but
Yeah.
I think we all knew this one could go 7.
Yeah. So, but I got to stick with the winner at least, which I think is going to be the Devils.
Devils, really?
I got to go.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough experience
To bring them that
or
far.
class compared to
No.
But
the Devils.
whichever team gets through, I think they're going to steamroll Carolina.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Another series that was really exciting, I mean, for me at least, was I know it finished 4-2, but Edmonton and LA.
I wanted LA.
Oh, man.
I think LA put up a great fight against the Oilers, but Draisaitl is just different in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think he's like second all-time most point per game in the playoffs. Second all-time, I'm pretty sure, for point per game in the playoffs. Draisaitl is a different fucking beast.
going insane.
A different beast. They got
for McDavid.
McDavid found his footings rather later in the series, in the later games. But something you said last podcast, Liam, Evan Bouchard. Oh my gosh, what a shout that was! You said that he could be the difference maker, and yeah, wait till that connects. And he was like, fuck, wow. Honestly, him and Ekholm rather, are like just wow. Because Ekholm is the defensive defenseman they needed, someone that can just clear the back, hold it down. And Bouchard is like on that first line power play, and he's fucking changed everything for him.
23.
I know. and I think he's been involved in everything. I think the
Yeah.
Oilers have like a 52% power play, thanks to
Yeah.
Evan Bouchard. He's been behind everything. Amazing series from him.
Yeah. Little disappointing end because I feel like LA dominated that game last night.
Okay, we're back.
All right.
We're back. It might be a brief period there with a little bit of echo because I'll have to change audio tracks, but we're back. Continue what you were saying about Evan Bouchard for the Oilers.
I was just frankly disappointed. I think LA kind of got robbed that last game a little bit. I mean, they did get a freebie with Stuart Skinner broken stick there.
Yeah, that was brutal.
But also, at the end of the day, if you're gonna lose a game, like if we go back, that series could have been a game 7. If we go back to the game, 4 when LA was up 3-0 in the first period, and Edmonton came back and won that like 4-3.
Yeah, that was key.
Like at
for
the end of the day,
them.
if you're gonna lose those up, maybe you don't deserve to win.
Yeah.
100%.
But in my opinion, MVP for LA has to be Victor Arvidsson, and then for Edmonton, I think you just got to go. Obvious choice is Draisaitl, but I think you got to say Bouchard.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go Bouchard as well for Oilers just because I think he's been a surprise and he's really been like outstanding. But for the Kings, I'm gonna go Kempe. Adrian Kempe.
yeah.
I think he was dangerous no matter where he was on the ice. T-Cat?
I'm going Draisaitl and Drew Doughty.
Big Drew.
Drew Doughty didn't have a bad series, to be fair.
No.
I feel like that's someone that people kind of sleep on now.
Yeah.
Just because of like
I
he's
think
been in the
he
league
played
so long.
great.
And yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Vegas, Winnipeg,
I didn't really watch this series.
I
if I'm
did.
being honest.
Mark Stone for me.
Jack Eichel for me, man.
Yeah,
I've been hearing a lot about Eichel.
I think
I think Eichel surprised a lot of people because he's never been in the playoffs before. He's showing
Eichel-
what he can do.
Eichel and McDavid showdown, first time ever, 2015.
Wow. Yeah, I mean fair. Yeah, because they faced each other in the second
they
round.
haven't played each other.
They have never.
ever?
Well, no, Eichel's been on Buffalo.
Yeah,
All these
Oh, yeah.
years. and
yeah, that's gonna be a great series to watch. And honestly, I have Vegas taking that.
Yeah, I
Really?
do too.
Yeah, Vegas.
There's
taking
something
that.
about Vegas.
For sure. But for me, Winnipeg, like that Josh Morrissey injury, as soon as it went down, they were fucked. Connor Hellebuck has come out and said that he doesn't want to stay around for a rebuild.
He wants to go to a winning team.
He wants to go to a winning team, and it's looking like a bunch of Winnipeg stars are UFAs. You know, Scheifele, Wheeler, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Hellebuck, I believe, are all UFAs. Their coach came
Yeah.
out and criticized them pretty heavily after their loss.
no pushback, as he said.
Yeah, he said it was embarrassing and he was like a disgrace or something like that. So it's looking like a little scary for the future of the Winnipeg Jets. But I just want to put something on the ethos quickly, right? To the Ottawa Senators fans that are
Hellebuck.
listening. If you don't re-sign DeBrincat, use that money and get Connor Hellebuck.
That's what I'm saying.
Use that money and get Connor Hellebuck, and I think that's a game changer. And I don't want to hear this fucking shit about Sogard will come good. Like, I don't want to fucking hear that. Use that. If DeBrincat doesn't sign, use that money. Get fucking Connor Hellebuck, and then just pick up someone else that can do a job in the bottom 6. You know, top 6. Maybe like
no one
middle
wants
6.
to come to Ottawa though.
Well, for fucking $10 million, you might.
I don't know.
You might. Connor Hellebuck
you're
is
not gonna
playing.
offer
Connor
him-
Hellebuck is playing in fucking Winnipeg.
You're
You
not
can't get
gonna
worse than
offer
that.
him 10 mil though.
Yeah, you probably give him around 7. 7? Hellebuck 7? I mean, Vezina Trophy winner.
Yeah.
And I think that would be enough to convince him. He's coming from Winnipeg. Anything is better than Winnipeg. But yeah, for the Jets, like I don't really have anyone that stood out to me.
No.
Literally,
Really there. Another one where it was more about the disappointment than anything else. And then to round things out, oh no, we got 2 more left. Sorry, Dallas, Minnesota.
Rupe Hintz for Dallas.
Yeah, I don't know where this is coming from, Mr. Rupe, but you lead the playoffs in points. You've been literally outstanding.
He was in the McDavid draft too.
Yeah, wow. Like he's really, really, really showing his own. I think that's the easiest pick for MVP of this series.
Yeah.
Rupe Hintz, just outstanding. And then for honestly Minnesota, I don't think they played that bad, but I think their problem was they didn't stick with Gustafsson throughout the series. I don't know if there was an injury there or something. I don't know, but he was the obvious choice to put Fleury in. He got absolutely lit up.
Fleury came out after that series ended,
Yeah.
and he goes, "I think I'm done."
Yeah, literally. But this was actually a good series, like for competitiveness.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely was a good series. And then another game 7, which I don't think anyone expected. Colorado, Seattle.
Colorado has not, like, even in
They don't look like they're going to challenge.
no, they are not challenging enough. They are not using their offensive talent to its capabilities. Nathan McKinnon has been underwhelming this series.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's been underwhelming. Seattle's just coming out like Chris Tanev, man. Him and Yanni Gourde have been
Unreal, yeah.
have been unreal for Seattle.
Yeah, I think it's Seattle. It's just people that you're not expecting
Yeah.
to chip in, that are chipping in and getting big goals at big times. And I think for Colorado, it might be a little bit of cup hangover even.
Yeah, I think so.
Except obviously they've had a fuck ton of injuries, but cup hangover for sure.
Seattle goes through. They're getting pumped by Dallas. I don't care what
Yeah.
anyone says.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Dallas
that'd be
would
good. That'd be
shit-pump
good to see Seattle go through second year in the league.
them. Yeah.
Like that's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
but we already had that miracle run.
Yeah, we already
with
had that
Vegas.
with Vegas.
Yeah,
Vegas-
but I don't know. Yeah, I still don't understand how that happened.
That was fucking
Yeah.
unreal.
But yeah.
Anyways.
So those are our picks for MVP for the first round. Well, I guess next pod will be middle of the second round.
Yeah.
So quickly, like
Alright.
for the matchups we know, Oilers, Vegas. Liam, who do you have?
Vegas in 7.
I got Vegas in 6.
I'm gonna take Vegas in 6 as well. And then
That's it.
that's the only one we know. If Carolina's getting pumped by
Yeah.
whoever
Yeah.
moves on. Toronto, do you think they could beat Boston?
Nope. They're
Nope.
getting pumped by whoever moves
And
on.
do you think they could beat Florida? I think
No.
Florida's a closer game, but I think
But
it's good. I think Leafs might take it. If Florida moves on, they're gonna take it, but they're gonna take it late, 6 or
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
You guys all agree with that?
Yeah.
Dallas, I think they beat whoever goes through.
Yeah.
Colorado doesn't look the same, and Seattle's just feeble.
Yeah.
Really. So yeah, those are our picks. Next week we'll have more in-depth, I guess, analysis because we'll be in the middle of that. TK, you probably have to go, eh? So
Let's do our center list quickly. Just,
Okay.
like rattle them off.
you start. You'll start. You read yours first.
Okay.
We'll give our opinions and then you can get out of here because
Okay.
you do have work. But for this segment, we're gonna do something that we used to do for soccer. We're gonna give for soccer we would rank our top 8 of positions currently. For this, we're going to go through positions throughout the coming weeks. We're going to give our top 10s of the 2010s. So from 2010 to now, we're going to give you top 10 rankings. This week, we are starting things off with the top 10 centers of 2010. TCAT, you start with your list.
Okay. So, at number 10, I have Ryan Getzlaff.
Okay.
Number 9, I have Kopitar. 8, I have Stammer. 7, I have Vinny Lecavalier.
Okay.
6, I have Datsuk. 5, I have Nicholas Backstrom. 4, I have Henrik Sedin. 3, I have Evgeny Malkin.
Mm-hmm.
2, Bergie. 1, Crosby.
Interesting.
So, For me, okay, no, Liam, you go first. I think
LeCavier
is a weird shout.
Yeah.
For me,
He's more like 2000.
For me, there's
yeah.
interesting. There's no Taves on there. There's no McDavid,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
I agree with TCAT. McDavid was an honorable mention for me, and I'll
Yeah.
get into that later.
Me
why.
too. I was going to put him, but I'm like,
You're going to recognize McDavid more for what he does in this
Yeah,
decade.
that's what
than
I'm
who's
saying.
in his last decade.
who's your top 5?
Backstrom,
Yeah,
Sedin,
yeah.
Okay.
Malkin,
Yeah.
Bergeron, Crosby.
Okay.
Why don't we
Okay.
before he leaves, why don't we all go through our list, then we'll discuss afterwards why we think.
Okay. So
Okay.
you go.
So 10 I have Eric Stahl, 9 I have Anze Kopitar, 8th I have Joe Thornton. You could argue Joe was more of a 2000s as well.
Yeah, but he's been here for so long.
7 I have Claude Giroux, 6 I have Evgeny Malkin, 5 I have Patrice Bergeron, 4 I have Steven Stamkos, 3 I have Henrik Sedin, 2nd I have Jonathan Toews, and 1st I have Sidney Crosby, with my honorable mentions being Datsuk, Ryan Kessler, and then McDavid.
I think. What was your top 4?
My top 4
From
was
1 to 4.
1 to 4. I had Crosby,
Yeah.
then Toews,
Yeah.
then Sedin, and Stammer.
I think Sedin's a little high, and I think Stammer's
I
a
don't
little
think
high.
so. I think that's good.
Sedin has no cups. 0 cups. Sedin has 0 cups, and Stammer's been riddled with injury.
Yeah, but we're looking at, like, for the most part of 2010,
Stamkos has been injured.
Yeah, but
He's still been electric.
But I think why you can't put like I McDavid. The
Discuss this
argument,
after. I gotta go.
yeah. So you
let's hear
say your list. You say your list.
Okay, my list. Number 10, Ryan Getzlaff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 9, Steven Stamkos. Number 8, Nicholas Backstrom. Number 7, Kopitar. 6, Datsuk. 5, Taves. 4, Malkin. 3, Bergeron. 2, Crosby. 1, McDavid.
Nah, I don't like that.
See, my issue with like
You guys aren't showing Backstrom love. He was amazing.
I think Backstrom was amazing because of Ovechkin. Yeah, pass the puck to Ovi on the power play. It's a
and I
guaranteed
think
assist.
Getzlaff
much
was
more.
amazing because of
And a
Corey
guaranteed
Perry.
assist. Anyways, TK, you get out of here.
Yeah.
Liam
Go.
and I are going to discuss this more in depth. Have a good day at work.
So I saw some weird looks with the list being said from your
Yeah,
end, and
yeah.
let me just chime
From
in.
yours end. So we'll go over it again.
Yeah. So, like I was telling you before the podcast, like I'm a big hockey guy, but early 2000s I was young. I wasn't really watching. You know.
Yeah. But 2010s, you would say you would start following the
Yeah, I
league.
know for sure. And yeah, there's the argument for I'm like open to switching around, but I think the two on my list I have to set in place are Crosby and Taves. I think Taves, before he started his decline with his injuries and his concussions,
Yeah.
he was the core for Chicago's dynasty.
It was like, what, 3 cups in 5 years?
Exactly.
You can't not have him there.
You can't. I don't. I think he has to be second. Now I think. I honestly think Eric Stahl could get yeeted out of there.
Eric Stahl's a weird shout.
For Datsuk, I think Datsuk could be up there, but Eric Stahl, I don't think is necessarily weird.
I just think the thing is about Eric Stahl, he wasn't a flashy player. Like, when you compare him to Datsuk, I think Datsuk gets more nostalgia love because
sure,
of what he
but
did for the game.
Eric Stahl was nearly point per game.
Yeah, I think he has over 1,000 points.
He has over
Obviously, he's played for fucking ever in the
Yeah.
league, but still. Like, yeah, I understand what you're saying
And-
with Eric Stahl.
Even with Malkin, nowadays he's playing more winger than he is center.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Malkin, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I even think I could even put. I don't think Malkin is a true center. Like I tried to incorporate. Like I think why Patrice Bergeron was so high for me is because he's emblematic of a two-way center.
Yeah.
He can play both ends of the ice, which I think is the integral role of a centerman.
Yeah.
You're the quarterback of the play essentially.
Yeah.
You are you're creating the plays. You're coordinating with your wingers, coordinating with your defensemen. You're essentially the captain of the line, and I think Bergeron did that really well. Stammer, yeah, I think he's still in the top 10, but I think he could be moved down a little bit.
Yeah, Stammer was an interesting one for me because obviously he scored 60 goals one year, and he's been reliable is not the right word, but consistent when he plays. I think I had him so low though was just because of that injury. Like he's been riddled with he has been injured for most of the seasons he's played in
Yeah, and
since he's been drafted in the league.
look, the Joe Thornton shout was a bit biased.
But I get it. But I think you're right. Joe's prime was the 2000s to
Yeah,
the late 1900s to
but
2000.
even if we
And he hasn't really won anything either.
no, he hasn't. But I think when you consider the best, who is the best center, I think it's more than just cups, and I think it factoring in, like, look, if we look at just very quickly here,
Yeah.
So if we go to the start of 2010, 13 years ago, Jumbo Joe would have been 29 years old,
Jeez.
and
And entering his prime, maybe tail end of his prime, depending on what
Tail
you
end of his-
consider
like-
to be his prime. Like to you, what's prime? 26 to 30?
I would argue that
26
to 30.
Yeah, 26 to 30.
It's crazy to say McDavid's not even in his prime yet.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking unreal.
Yeah, for sure.
But, like, look, you look at Jumbo Joe, 96 points, 86, 89, 70, 77, gets some injuries, goes down to 40, 76, 65, 82. And he's playing on a team with the Sharks. Like, but, again.
They had some good years, but
He had-
never the really strongest
No, but
team. I'd say the Sharks Cup window was pretty small.
Very small.
I think there's like a 3-year Cup window you
Yeah.
guys had with Marlowe and Thornton firing
Yeah.
on all cylinders. But
But like Eric Stahl is like, I'm not gonna lie, I got some help. Like I was trying to remember like who were some of the key guys, and like I want to compare our lists to. I found a website that like lists off the top 10 centers.
yeah.
If we go here,
Um,
so the top ranked hockey centers of the 2010s.
Okay.
Number 1,
Mm-hmm.
it put Steven Stamkos.
At number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Sidney Crosby at 2, John Tavares at 3, Evgeny Malkin at 4,
Mm-hmm.
Claude Giroux at 5, Tyler Seguin at 6,
No, this is a horrible list.
7 Joe Pavelski, 8 Anze Kopitar, 9 Eric Stahl, 10 Jonathan Toews. Now this I think was for the year 2010.
It might be for the year
But
2010.
so the overall decade rank, it doesn't show overall decade rank. It had Stamkos at 3, Crosby at 4, which it still puts Crosby behind Stamkos, which I think is criminal.
yeah, that's yeah.
Which I think is criminal.
That
And
was probably a list for 2010 because there's no way that's correct. The one thing I want to bring up, which is interesting, is that I put Datsuk. TK and I had Datsuk in at like 6, around 6. That's another one where it's debatable because Datsuk left the league. I want to say 2014.
yeah, it's been a while.
So it's only like 3 years in the era we're considering, but it's like
He was filthy.
nostalgia is kind to Pavel Datsuk.
Dude, I think it's unreal when you still consider how many young kids know of Pavel
Yeah.
Datsuk.
Yeah.
Like,
So I think 6 for me could be a little high for Datsuk for the 2010s era.
but so 2010s era, I wanted to pin this guy on you. Like, where do you think he lies? Ryan Kessler. Because I think
Ryan
2010
Kessler
era-
was a good center. He was a good centerman, but he's not better than Stamkos. He's not better than Getzlaf. He played second fiddle to Getzlaf. He's not better than Backstrom. Kopitar, I think, edges him out as well.
Yeah.
Datsuk, I could not put with
No, that-
I could not do that. And then the top 4 is nowhere near.
Did you have Giroux on your list?
I did not have Giroux on my list either.
Because I think Giroux.
Giroux, I think, could get over. I don't know. Giroux is someone that I think could get over someone like Getzlaf. Because Getzlaf's another player where I think he was more dominant. I mean, he was in the league in, I think, 03 or something. He was dominant from like 06 to 10. He was sick. I mean, even, I guess you could say he was probably good up until the 2014 as well. But I think Giroux is someone that you could put a debate with Getzlaf in for the 2010s era. I think all time Getzlaf blows Giroux out of the water. But for the 2010 era, I think Getzlaf wins, or Giroux and Getzlaf is close.
And I wanted to come back to your McDavid shout.
Yeah.
And here's why.
Yeah, for sure.
I think McDavid, and this isn't, no one in their right mind can discredit the career McDavid has had and
Yeah.
will continue to have.
Yeah.
But the fact he was drafted in 2015,
Yeah.
halfway through the decade,
Yeah.
starting in 2016, started really going after his injury in 2017,
Yeah.
that season.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to really consider him like a top 10 in that decade because I think he's going to be known more for the past 3 years he's had
Sure.
and the 7 years onward. That's
Sure.
why I had wiggle room in mind where you would say, "Oh, I don't think Eric Stahl deserves to be on that list." I think for the sake of nostalgia for the entire decade,
Yeah.
like spanning over from 2010
To na-
to now.
Yeah, we're taking this is my rebuttal for that is that we're taking into account till now.
Yeah.
Yes, I think McDavid his best years are ahead of him.
Yeah.
But he's been in the league for what, 7 years?
Yeah.
And he's by far the best player the league has ever seen. I think even the 7 years we've seen him puts him miles above everyone else except for Crosby.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe a kilometer ahead of Crosby, but he's miles ahead of Bergeron, Malkin, Taves.
But that
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because that's the thing. All of these guys, aside from McDavid, started before 2010.
Yeah.
These are guys who were part of the 2010 decade and built the 2010 decade of hockey.
Yes, for sure.
As centermen. McDavid came along and he contributed to the decade, I think, but he contributed to the latter half. Like when we're asked to name like a top 10 of the 2010 decade, I think back and I think, okay,
Crosby.
what players were emblematic from the start of the decade?
Crosby, Malkin.
Exactly. Like if we were saying, like, I think if we said from 20, who's going to be the number one for this decade, I wouldn't even put, like, I think Crosby would still be there, but I think he would be towards the
I
bottom
think that's
of the
what
list.
I think that's what you should do with McDavid in this context. And he should definitely be on the list, but maybe not one.
Yeah.
Maybe not one. An interesting debate also to have here is Bergeron versus Jonathan Toews. Toews has the more silverware, yes, but I think Bergeron. I don't want to say this as a Hawks fan, but Bergeron I think is miles, not miles, but I think Bergeron's better
I would agree.
than Toews, just because they play a similar style of game, right? They're both two great two-way centers, but I think Bergeron is better two-way than Jonathan Toews. But Toews, this goes back to that conversation. Yeah. What weight do you give championships in a debate like this?
I think you just have to be in these types of situations. I think you have to just. I know this is going to sound really, really kind of bad from this standpoint. I think you just specifically have to look at what the player did in the decade, not what the team accomplished.
But winning trophies is what the player accomplished.
Yeah, but not like because the Stanley Cup is a team effort. It's a culmination of the team's triumphs over the course of the season, what they accomplished, what position they finished in the regular season, how they performed in the playoffs. Like that is a culmination.
Sure.
Of all their achievements. But I think when you look at like the amount of trophies Bergeron has won for his defensive capabilities.
Well, I was gonna say I think they could rename the Frank J. Selke the Patrice Bergeron Award.
100%. Like I think because nowadays, not to erase names from the past, but I think there's a certain degree of modernization that has to be done with those kinds of awards because of the impact that these players have had.
Well, I'll read you Bergeron's points from the 2009-10 season to 15-16, and then I'll do the same for Toews. So 2009-10, he started off with 52, 57, 64, 32 in the shortened season, 62, 55, and then 2015-16 he had 68 points. We go over to Toews in the same amount of years, 43, 44, 28 in the shortened season, or 28 and 20, or 25 in the shortened season, but 2080 in 2011, 2012 they only played 58 games, so he put up 28 points, 40, 38, and then I'm looking at the wrong category. Never mind what I just said. 09-10, 68 points, 76 points, 57 points, 48 points, 68, 66, 58. I was looking at assists instead of points. But I think number-wise, Toews also has Bergeron beat, if I even read the right category for Bergeron. Honestly, I'm looking at so many numbers right here, it's hard to tell. I don't even know if I read the right things. Anyways, but that's besides the point. I think Toews has the point production on Bergeron, but Bergeron is the better two-way centerman because of what he does on the face-off dot.
And here's what I think. I don't think my Sedin shout is that bad, and here's why. They did not win. The Sedin brothers did not bring any cups home to Vancouver, and even if we consider that era, neither did Ryan Getzlaf, you know?
Yeah, that's why I had Getzlaf low on my list as well, because I don't think he was on that Ducks team that won the cup.
So if we look at the Vancouver Canucks from the 2009 season, Henrik Sedin, this is points from 09 and 10 onwards.
Yep.
112, 94, 81, shortened season 45, another shortened season 50, 73, 55, 50, and 50. So
another great two-way center.
Like great two-way center.
Maybe Sedin does. It should definitely be on the list then for sure.
I think Sedin
Over Getzlaff.
Yeah, I think Sedin deserves to be there. I think, like, if we look at Getzlaff here, just quickly, Getzlaff, because Getzlaff was a phenomenal centerman.
Yeah.
As
you Google this, I'm just gonna check the camera.
So Getzlaff from the 09 season, 91, 69, 76, 57, 49, 87, 70, 63, 73, 61, 48, and his last 48. And then his last season in the 2018, 2019, he got 58 points. And his last season ever, 2021, 2022, he got 37 points.
And when was his last season?
Sorry. So his points 09, so he had 69, 76, 57, 49, 87, 70, 63, 73, 61, 48.
Well, that blows Bergeron right out of the water.
Yeah, but see, maybe this is when your discussion about the silverware comes into play.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think I definitely read the wrong column for for Bergeron's stats, but that's neither here or there. So
yeah.
if I were to give you a ranking of these top three of Hendrik Sedin, Bergeron, and Taves, what are you doing with that?
Hendrik Sedin.
Bergeron, Taves. And I want you to take an account because I think silverware should play a factor in this.
Bergeron 1.
Yeah.
Sedin 2.
Yeah.
And, Taves won cups, but I'm sorry.
3 cups. 3 Stanley Cups. You're not going to give that any weight over a guy that's won none.
Actually, that would be contradicting my original list. I think I just have to stick with... I see I'm contradicting myself here, but yeah. Taves... I think I just have to stick with Bergeron, Taves, and then Sedin last out of the 3. But I think Getzlaff goes below Sedin.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think Sedin is definitely a glaring one that I left off of my list.
Because, I don't know. I think Taves is just so, like you said, nostalgia too. There's a lot of nostalgia that comes with.
But I feel like Taves. I think Taves is an underrated player now. I think he gets very disrespected. I think he's like the Gareth Bale of the NHL, where the people just take him what he's done recently. He hasn't had the best seasons recently, and I know a lot of people that I talk to, they don't rate Taves very highly, which I think
is criminal.
Is criminal. Yeah, honestly, it's a disgrace.
But then again, though, if you look back at those seasons where they won the cups, Taves wasn't
well, it was Taves and Kane.
Sharp, Hossa,
yes. Hossa played a big role. Sharp,
Kane,
yes.
Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook. There were so many guys on that team.
Keith, yeah.
Like Boston, back then, Boston had a young Tyler Seguin who was decent.
Yeah.
You had Bergeron. Krejci.
Chris Kelly.
Chara. Yeah.
I can't even remember that. I can't even remember most of the people off that team.
See, but then Vancouver didn't really have they had
Luongo though, was probably the best goalie in the league.
But then they have the Sedin brothers and Alex Burrows.
Yeah, who's a player.
Kessler for a little bit too.
Kessler. Yeah, it's hard to remember that team from back, especially when they faced each other in the finals.
Yeah,
which I also think might give Bergeron an edge over Sedin because they went head to head and Bergeron obviously won. But the only thing I remember about that series is the riots after.
Holy,
really,
lots of riots there.
What I meant, but those are our lists. Just to go over mine again, I had Stamkos 10, Backstrom 9, Getzlaff 8, Kopitar 7, who's one we didn't even touch on. Datsuk 6, 5 Taves, 4 Malkin, 3 Bergeron, 2 Crosby, and 1 Connor McDavid. Liam, do you want to go over yours again?
Yeah, I'll just stick with my original positioning, even just for the sake of the argument here. 10 Eric Stahl, 9 Kopitar, 8 Thornton, 7 Giroux, 6 Malkin, 5 Bergeron, 4 Stamkos, 3 Sedin, 2 Taves, 1 Crosby.
And I can't even remember Ethan's list, but
Ethan had
there's not even a point, but he had Le Cavalier on there, which is fucking absolute.
More of a 2000s.
That's a Google best centers of
all time.
That's a Google. But let us know, who do you think had the better list. We're going to be back again next week with another top 10 ranking, but let us know who had a better list, me or Liam. Maybe this could even be a clip.
Yeah.
Best centers of 2010s, and just us reading our list. Well, we haven't had a clip in a while.
Yeah, we have.
So maybe I'll send this to you and we can clip that up. But let us know in the comments who had the better list. Before, just to end off this NHL talk, something interesting has been developing, something we'll probably have more information on later in this week. But Ryan Reynolds and the Remington Group have put in $1 billion bid for the Ottawa Senators and the Canadian Tire Center. Two things that confuse me about this. One, they want to buy the arena as well. So what would that mean for inner city relocation?
Mm-hmm.
Two, $1 billion seems like a lot for the Senators. I think they're up for like $630 million or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
really want it.
you're adding $400 million on for the
CTC.
For the CTC. I don't know if the bidding is generally that competitive, but that seems like a lot for the Ottawa Senators.
Just to see what like Reynolds did with Wrexham.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah,
having
for
him
sure.
in Ottawa would be so sick.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I mean, obviously it's exciting because you see what he's done with Wrexham, and who knows what him buying Ottawa would mean for Wrexham. Like would that impact them financially, because you have to put more money into this team anyways, but that's a conversation for a different time. We'll have to see how that plays out over time. But if the Ottawa Senators are going for $1 billion, like that must boost the valuation of every other NHL franchise tenfold.
Yeah.
Because we're not the biggest market. Just like Ottawa's not the biggest market just due to the fact that the arena is in Canada. Like there's no public transport there. You know, it's a horrible parking, horrible placement for the arena. So I'm wondering with the purchase of the arena, what would that mean for location? Does that mean that they're going to stay there, or does that mean maybe they'll buy the land, tear it down? Because the Remington Group is a real estate, like, what, mogul, is that the right word?
Yeah, mogul.
Like they're a company. I don't even know what's the word I'm thinking of. That
corporation.
Conglomerate. They're a real estate conglomerate. So maybe they'll buy the CTC, tear it down, put condos up or some shit, and then move the team. But I think the one thing about this bid is the fact that they want to purchase the CTC is worrying for me, because they need to relocate that team.
Yeah, but just picture down the line Ryan Reynolds announcing Ottawa's first overall draft pick at a.
He's not the fucking general manager.
Still, because you got random people to announce the picks sometimes. They could get Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, but that's beside the point.
Sorry, yeah, I'm just picturing the possibilities.
Yes. You just want to see a Ryan Reynolds cameo at the games or something. Like he's gonna have to. They're gonna have a special private jet for him between Wales and fucking Ottawa just for him. But we've touched on it so many times. Ottawa residents never shut up about it. But the how vital the relocation to LeBreton Flats is cannot be understated. Like, if they move that arena to LeBreton Flats, build it there, the fan base, the support of the team will increase tenfold. That arena will, I can guarantee, be sold out every game if they move. Canada, it's never sold out because people like us don't want to make the drive there.
I would go to games so much more.
In LeBreton Flats, you could take the train that never works. You could take OC Transpo. There's so much potential if you move it down there.
Stay downtown with your friends who live in Ottawa.
Exactly.
Like there's
exactly.
so many more options.
That needs to happen. So I think overall, Ryan Reynolds buying Ottawa is a good thing.
A good thing.
But I hope that this buying of the Canadian Tire Center, I don't know if they have to buy it or what, if that's in like some contract, but I hope that means that they still move, because that's what it has to happen.
Buying the CTC was probably just like a sort of like an insurance policy on like the grounds of like, let's sweeten up this offer and get the stadium off the hands. Like it could have just been like an additional like spice up the offer type of thing, because with both of them in there, like they have the money, so it's.
Well, that's what my hope was with the fact that Remington Group's real estate, that they'll buy the
They'll
land there
buy
and they'll
and
build shit.
Build more, add
Yeah.
more to that area.
Yeah, for sure.
Please.
For sure.
Please.
For sure.
Yeah.
But now just for a quick, just to round it out, go back to our roots a bit. Some soccer talk here, Liam. Obviously, Manchester City beat Arsenal on the weekend. They are currently
Big
top
dub.
of the table. They just beat someone today. Who did they beat today? Fulham today.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland broke the record or I think tied for the record for the most goals scored in the Premier League ever. But this topic is really more Arsenal. Where do you think they finish next year?
Top 3.
You think top
I
3?
think they're still going to stay top 3.
Okay.
I think it's going to be.
But here's my thing.
Yeah.
We're going to touch more on Chelsea later. But if Chelsea get their shit together, they have a squad. If Newcastle are only going to get better from here. They're already in third.
So are Arsenal.
They're only going to get better. Man United, if they get that sale done, they're only going to get better. And then you have City. Even you could throw Spurs, even though they're fucking shit recently. You could throw Spurs there if they get their shit together, much as I hate
Did
it.
they lose to Liverpool today?
Yeah, I think it was 3-1 at time of recording.
Okay.
But I just want your thoughts. Where do you see Arsenal finishing next year? Do you think they maintain? Do you think they challenge again? Or do you think they find themselves the comfy spot within the top 4?
I think it's going to be a comfy spot in the top 4. I think it's going to be City, 1. If United get their shit together, I could see them being 2. Like, I could really see them being 2. I think... I don't know. I think Liverpool's going to rebound.
I didn't even mention Liverpool.
You didn't?
I didn't even mention Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool's soft to rebound.
Fuck. It's going to be a competitive year next year.
Yeah. If they get their shit together again, that's what I'm saying. It's tough to say because we saw Liverpool and City go at it for
And
the
then
past 5 years.
Chelsea relegation zone.
Yeah, but if we get our shit together, we have the squad to challenge. I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Don't fucking look at me like that.
No, you totally do.
Don't look at me like that. But
in
for me, because
conclusion-
I think there's a genuine threat that Arsenal, like not just Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea even, don't make the top 4 next year. One of them, I don't think one of them doesn't make it.
Okay.
I think City is a lock. There always will be a lock. Newcastle, this year they can spend all the money they have. And then the last 2 spots are between, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Tottenham. That's 5 people fighting for 2 spots.
Yeah, fuck.
So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see. Do you think that the Premier League should get another Champions League spot, or they should keep it at the top 4? Because we have so many good teams. I think the Champions League is expanding how many teams will be in it next year. But I do you think they should give one of those extra places out to the Premier League just because of the class, the best league in the world?
I think just keep it at
Just
4.
keep it at 4 for sure.
Make it competitive. You're going to be getting the best of the best.
Yeah.
And just to know that the best of the best is also going to be in the Europa League because they didn't make the cut for the 4.
But that also waters down the Europa League. Like if you have teams like Arsenal, even though they went out this year, but that's because they're more focused on the Prem. But that's gonna water down the Europa League because you have like a Liverpool in there, for example. They're gonna be playing Sparta Prague every week and then kick their ass.
Who's in position right now in the Prem to be Europa right now?
Aston Villa. Aston Villa's in 5th place.
In the Prem?
Aston Villa's in 5th place in the Prem.
Right now.
Yep. Unai Emery has changed that team around.
Who's
They have 5th place.
It's City,
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
No. City's in 1st place as of now.
No, because we
No,
got the 2 wins. Yes, you're right. Sorry.
So it's City, Arsenal,
Newcastle,
Man United, Aston Villa, 6
Spurs,
6 Spurs, yes. 7th is Liverpool,
8th
8th is Brentford, and then it's Fulham.
Brighton. Where's Brighton?
Oh no, it's Brighton, Brentford, Fulham.
Brighton, Brentford, Fulham.
I'll pull it up right now. Just
Fuck
just
is
to make sure.
Chelsea.
So Man City 1st, Arsenal 2nd, Newcastle 3rd, Man United 4th, and then after the games today, Liverpool 5th, Tottenham 6th, and then Aston Villa.
So imagine Liverpool Europa.
But Liverpool 56 points, Tottenham, Aston Villa 54, Brighton 8th, Brentford 9th, and then Fulham 10th, then Crystal Palace, then Chelsea, who are on
Sorry, Chelsea where?
Chelsea 12th
Okay.
on the same amount of points as Bournemouth, who were newly promoted.
How close are you to the relegation zone?
The relegation zone consists of 29 points, 28 points, and 24 points. We're 10 points off relegation. Not been the best year. I think we might see the first time in history a manager has lost 7 games in a row with no wins with Frank Lampard. I mentioned briefly on a podcast before, I thought it was a good appointment for the
morale.
fans. The fans felt disconnected from the club because Graham Potter came in and he shot the bed respectfully. You know, there's that clip on our account of me celebrating his sacking, which I regret deeply now because Frank Lampard's came in. Yes, some fans are happy because a legend's leading the team, but he's lost 4 or 5 games in a row. And our attack, the last games have been Raheem Sterling, Conor Gallagher, and N'Golo Kanté
Fark.
as an attack, which is brutal. The lineups he puts out are fucking horse shit. I could pick a better lineup even if I had no fucking eyes. I could pick a better lineup with no eyes.
Tell him.
So shit. Nagelsmann's no longer in the running to be our coach.
Sorry. It was Liverpool 1-4-3.
So Spurs came back.
Yeah, sorry.
Nagelsmann is no longer in contention to be our coach. Luis Enrique is no longer in contention to be our coach. And the leading runner is former Tottenham boss Mauricio Pochettino. Now, this is a guy who coached our biggest rivals. Our biggest rivals fans are in love with him. He's probably their best manager of all time. But this is also a guy who went to PSG and failed to win anything with Mbappe, Messi, Neymar.
Ouch.
So, the thing is, there's no one else good on the market. The 2 other contenders on the market are no longer in the running. So really, all we have left is Pochettino. But I don't want Pochettino because he stinks. He reeks of Tottenham Hotspur, which is a team I hate more than anything in the world.
Spurs are just shit.
So it's going to be an interesting time for Chelsea coming up. It's not conveniently for me. The soccer talk has gone down on this former soccer podcast, and going down with it has been Chelsea in the standings. So I don't have to take a lot of shit from you guys for it.
Well, you're gonna have a boring ass year next year, international play wise.
Like we're not going to be in the Champions League. We're fucking shit right now.
Won't be in the FA.
We'll be in the FA Cup, but we won't be in Conference League or fucking Europa League.
What's the FA Cup is like the
England. That's all of England. Everyone gets into that if you're in the Prem. If
Sorry.
you're in the Prem. But yeah, it's gonna be.
Shouldn't be there though.
It's. We need to figure our shit out. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people get mad at Todd Bowley, the owner, and blaming him for this.
Yes.
Which I can understand, but some people want him out of the club.
Like, what the fuck were you guys like? I think Fernandez was an overpayment.
Well, he's been one of our best players, but 120 million, yes, a little expensive.
Where the fuck is Mudryk?
On the bench, but he's looked promising. And Mudryk's one that's really gets blown out of proportion. People think 100 mil, and it was really only 62 mil for Mudryk, but still a lot of money.
Your last 2 striker loans have been shit.
Yes, Lukaku, we're fucking gonna give him the choice to come back if he wants, which I think is just disgraceful after all he said in that interview.
Lukaku and then Aubameyang.
Yeah, who's done fuck all. We bought Aubameyang for Thomas Tuchel and then sacked Thomas Tuchel, so he was a pointless signing.
Now Tuchel's with Bayern.
So it's been a fucking disaster. We should write it off. But I think one thing I can say confidently is that I don't think Todd Bowley out is the right thing to say. Yeah, he doesn't have that much experience running this. I understand. But this is a guy that splashed $600 million in January. You're going to want a team. You're going to want an owner that supports your team, that's willing to put money into the team. And Todd Bowley is that. I think overall, he has the best interest of the club in mind. But that being said, this first year has been unacceptable and it's a disaster. Chelsea should not be anywhere near 12th.
Well,
the club we are.
And you guys are about to get absolutely railed by Arsenal.
Arsenal on Tuesday.
Or Tuesday, yeah. Because what have your fucking last matches been?
4 losses. Real Madrid, Brentford, I
Yeah,
don't
it
even
was.
remember.
I
I
think
just
it
tried. I
was-
just tried to wipe. I just tried to wipe him from my memory. I came home early from work one day to watch that Brentford game, and it was.
Wish you
was-
stayed at work for
It
money.
was It was the worst watch I've ever seen in my life. I wasn't even interested in the game. Like, we played like fucking horse shit. I don't know why our strikers Raheem Sterling and our two cams are Conor Gallagher and fucking N'Golo Kante
Where's Zhao?
on the bench because Frank Lampard picks the worst lineups of all fucking time. Listen, this is a rant.
Sure, Zhao sure as hell didn't leave Atletico for fucking
Yeah, I
shell
don't know.
shit ball.
I don't know. This has been a disaster of season. I could rant on about this for literal days.
Hey,
We need. Is Pochettino the guy? I don't fucking know. I'll take anyone over Frank at this point. And I love Frank. I still gonna love Frank, even though he's gonna run this club into the fucking ground. The funny thing is, on his introduction interview, he's like, "Chelsea Football Club do not deserve to be in 10th place. We are better than this." Well, thanks, Frank. You put us in fucking 12th.
meanwhile, Brighton out here smashing Wolves to
Meanwhile,
the ground.
Brighton beating Wolves 6-0
Six.
with no Matoma, no McAllister, no Solly March, no Levi Colwell, all on the bench, and they're fucking absolutely
Purvis.
Purvis
Purvis.
putting his shift. Danny Welbeck scoring a brace. Undav scoring a brace as well. It's fucked. It's fucked. De Zerbi's having honestly shout for manager of the season.
Yeah.
But it's looking like City are gonna, after all of this back and forth, Arsenal absolutely bottled it. 3 draws in a row, all games which they
Look.
were winning, I believe, except for the Southampton one.
I
And then you guys railed them.
knew it from the beginning. Ever since I became a fan back in the 2006 season.
Yeah.
City have just been fucking elite, man.
Yeah. All the way back then.
Back with Coventry and before that,
Back with Coventry.
when before City was City, we were Coventry. Back when I was like about 20 or so.
You unknowingly you just exposed yourself because Manchester City were never Coventry City.
Yeah, but wasn't there like a merger or some shit?
No,
Coventry was just different.
No, Coventry City still exists, and is a team that still plays
No,
today.
no.
And they've played back then.
No. Before City was City. Before City was City. Don't do this to me.
I don't know what you're talking about, but sure.
No, hold on.
I think you just exposed yourself.
No. Manchester City before oil money. There, that's a
Yeah, before oil money, you were just Manchester City. You were just in the fucking championship. You had nothing to do with fucking Coventry.
But what were the weird
City.
ass? We used to have like the weird ass jerseys with like the badge. Like
That was just your old logo.
So we were never Coventry.
You had nothing to do with Coventry City. You just had a
So
different
what-
logo.
Sorry, educate me here. What's Coventry City?
A team in
That
Coventry that plays in like League One or the Championship.
Are we able to like bleep this out, or is this
No,
staying
that's
in?
just staying in. That is, wow. To think we used to be, I think we only used to talk about soccer, and you think Manchester City and Coventry City is the same thing. Holy fuck!
Is that a good note?
We're clipping that. That's a clip. That is a clip.
Is that a good note to end
That
off
is,
on?
I think we're gonna end her there after that absolutely horrid ball knowledge. Like, wow. I don't even think Coventry's near Manchester. Holy fuck. But what a way to end it. This has been the Five Back Podcast, episode 30. Thank you guys for sticking with us through 30 weeks, 30 episodes. That's a long time. Sorry about the audio issues that will be inevitable in this podcast
In the
because
garage.
the board died, but I'll try and fix that up and make it as good as possible. Sorry again for episode 28. Still not on YouTube. Still don't know what's wrong with that, but again, available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Liam, anything you want to say before we sign off for good here? Go Leafs, go. Leave a like, subscribe. We want 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and we'll see you next week.
Five back out.
Peace.